This is the SPCE 1-month overview reading for the month of October 2023. It's currently August 4th, 2023, 2:13 p.m. Eastern Time. SPCE at the time of this reading is currently $3.78, that's USD, and the shuffle file for the October reading was created on August 1st, 2023 at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video right here. The overall theme and behavior for October, the Hermit the Hierophant card is often a pop and drop. It's crossed with the Devil card, which is pretty interesting because a pop and drop can be like a fake out, and the Devil card crossed into that. I think there's probably fake outs around the month's lows towards the end of the month. And behavior around the highest high for the month, we have a breakout. It looks like it's a continuation of the rally from September, which the highest high there was a breakout as well. So chances are it's a continuation of that. It doesn't look like it lasts very long. I think we probably have a breakout somewhere in the first week to highest highs. We'll get into that in more detail as we get into the reading, but there is a possibility of it in the second week, but it's much less likely than the first week. After that, and it's also possible that this is a highest high looking at it on a 1 year scale, looking like re-examining the 1 year, which is pretty solid. I was off on a highest high here in April. It ended up being a prominent crest, but not a highest high. So re-examining the 1 year, it looks like that highest high may actually be really like right here at the beginning of the month. And then it takes us into a lowest low, but the lowest low doesn't end up being at the low of October. It actually looks like it goes into November. And that's based on the correlator here being the defeat card. And then the defeat card also being the sneak preview for November. My sense is that we probably go lower there. Behavior around the lowest low for the month, we have a rally out of the low along a diagonal trend line. We break through horizontal resistance on a multi-day scale, meet a second resistance, and then we pull back to somewhere between those two price levels. That's the completed shuffle file. Let's take a look at how we're doing for August thus far. Basically going into lows, we should see lows at the beginning of next week, most likely there on like Monday, possibly on Tuesday, most likely on Monday. Yeah, and it starts getting pretty bullish after that. So it does look like we're on the right track. There was this big move higher here on the second, indicated by the ruin card, like a move from the bottom of a range to the top of a range here in the next day, and then bit of a rally. That wick there offered opportunity to open up a short position. We likely open lower on the 7th, but this is definitely leading into the lows, so this is looking pretty solid thus far. When we look at the July reading, we weren't 100% on the July reading, but we were pretty close, guys. We had a lowest low here on the 5th, 6th, and you can see there was a lowest low there on the 6th, and then we have our highest high as indicated between the 10th and 11th, and possibly again on the 18th. And you can see the highest high was 2 days off. So we were between the 11th and the 12th. We had a highest high between the 11th and the 12th, and we were basically 2 days off there. Still had it mid-month, and then it was followed by another peak or crest, which took place there on the more so on the cusp of the 18th into the 19th. Then we went into trough, and then we went into lowest low again towards the end of the month. 26th, another lowest low, 25th, 26th. And then there's this fast sudden move higher right here on the edge of the month, which technically is a higher price level, but for the majority of the month, that's pretty solid. Sometimes that'll happen at the end of the month. You'll get like a piece of a move from the following month. That's just how it is sometimes, but it's pretty solid, guys. I would give this like a 90. I'd give it like a 94 probably. I'd have to look at the statements. Eventually, Sarah will get to the actual rating of it, and she'll look through each statement and check the accuracy, and then give it an overall accuracy. And the way that we rate it is, if there's 10 statements and 9 of them are accurate, we divide 9 by 10, gives you the average accuracy rating. All right, so let's get back into October here. So most likely a highest high, either the highest high was in September or it's here. We have a rally on the 2nd that offers the opportunity to open up a short position for like an overnight swing trade, I should say. What you're looking to do is on a 1 day chart I'll talk about that in more detail in the paid version. There's actually 3 trade opportunities on the 2nd. On the 3rd, a notable move to the downside into a prominent trough for the month, either on the 3rd or the 4th. And that trough will form when we hit an important support level that's important on like a 1-year scale minimum. On the 4th, we have a peak at the beginning of the day, a peak or crest at the beginning of the day, and then it's that support level highlighted. But I think we probably rally into a high here, which is a key resistance. We may very well break out through the support levels. Probably we're creating support at a higher price level too. That could be what's happening here on the 4th. We're creating support level at a higher price level. So we go from this trough into a rally, creating support out of that important price level, and then we have like a temporary breakout where we break through it, creating it, turning it into support, and we have a peak at key resistance somewhere around the cusp of the 4th, 5th, at a highest high for the month, and we break down from that peak with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down. So it may be that the high is on the 4th and the 5th. It's possible that it's on the 5th and the 6th, but I'm leaning towards the 4th and the 5th actually. There may be a move to the upside on the 6th, but it looks like what's happening here with these ruins is we go from this highest high to like consecutively lower spikes up here. There may be a move to the upside on the 6th, like a notable move on a multi-day scale, but there's a trough there towards the early part of the afternoon or towards the end of the day. On the 9th, an important range is highlighted on a multi-day scale. Usually it looks like it's to the upside resistance, so we should see like coming up on a multi-day scale, there's a range there that will be bound by that range. And then on the cusp of the 9th, 10th, there's a notable move to the downside into a significant trough on the 10th. It's probably our lowest price level yet on the 10th towards the like end of the day after a big move lower. We'll poke through an important price level like momentarily, it looks like. And then the following day on the 11th, we have a move higher through resistance. We stay above it briefly. We break back down through the same price level shortly thereafter. And it looks like either a lot of movement, a lot of price change to the upside there on the 11th and back down, or a lot of price change after that move higher and back down, fast sudden move higher on the 12th, or both. On the 13th, we break down through multiple support levels. So we break down from 2 and through 1 to another one. This is on like at least a 1-day scale. We're probably multi-day scale. We bounce around that second support for a bit, and then we break down through multiple support levels. Decline continues on the 18th, creating multiple new resistance levels on the way down. A lot of price change covered on the 17th, and it looks like a fake out there on the 17th where we have a prominent trough likely early in the day on the 17th, and then we move to the upside to a peak or crest towards the end of the day on the 17th. Notable trade opportunity there. I'll talk about in more detail in the paid version. Matter of fact, guys, there's also significant trades here around the 11th, and some more at the end of the month. I'll talk about those in more detail in the paid version. If you're interested in the paid version, this is one of the best ways to support the channel. They're really the core of the channel, financial support, being able to actually put out the content that we do put out. So the way that you get the paid version, which in the paid version includes an additional like 3 to 8 minutes of content specifically talking about what type of chart behavior to look for in like approximate time areas, like around like the 3rd, look for this chart behavior for an entry point, look for this chart behavior around this date for an exit point. And they're the best trades. Not all the trades are equal, so we stick to the best ones. With that said, guys, make sure to trade responsibly. We're not right all the time. We do get a lot of it right, but we're not right all the time, so make sure to trade responsibly. And thank you to all those of you that go ahead and support the channel. We definitely know who you are, those of you that sign up here. And so you go to our services, SO Meta Posts, you scroll to monthly subscription, click here, and you can subscribe to any one of these tickers individually, or these crypto, or you can subscribe to all of them for $2.50 a month. And that's the most popular subscription by far on the channel. And it also includes tickers that aren't covered as 1 month subscriptions, like Amazon and Google come out almost every month. Now that we're all the way out in October, they should have been coming out for a couple months, and they continue to come out every month, but you can't subscribe to them individually. They're part of the all paid monthly prediction. So again, thanks to all those of you that go ahead and do that. We do need your support, so it's much appreciated. All right, so trade opportunity at a peak at the end of the day on the 17th, and then On the 18th, we have a prominent peak and possibly a lowest low. Either at the peak around the cusp of the 17th, 18th, or the peak of at the end of the day on the 18th, maybe another trade opportunity. But there's a trade opportunity at the lowest low, which is there on the cusp of the 18th, 19th. There's a resistance level highlighted on the 19th that we met many times before and failed to break through. Looks like we rally out of that lowest low there on the cusp through the 19th, hitting resistance, and then on the 20th, we have another peak or crest that'll stand out on a 1 month. Rally ends there. Notable trade opportunity there, and then another fake out on the 23rd, looks like to the upside early in the day, but then a lot of price change covered to the downside towards the end of the day, where another significant trade opportunity. On the 24th, a peak early in the day. We may gap up overnight or something like that, but there's a peak early in the day near overbought territory at a key technical price level, important on a 1 year scale at least, there on the 24th. On the 25th, we have price swings. We may very well see a lowest low here again. It's either the same low as the 18th, 19th, or it might be a lower one. But there's price swings there. In the midst of those price swings, we probably see another lowest low there, and then a gap up overnight and a sharp drop throughout the day on the 26th, followed by a big move higher at the end of the day, almost like a breakout, and then sideways behavior. Matter of fact, the lowest low may be there at the end of the day on the 26th rather than the 25th. I think it's probably on the 26th at the end of the day, like the cusp there. And we move sideways into the 27th, where there's a key resistance level highlighted, and usually it's kind of like flat chart behavior when you see the truce card. On the 30th, we have an overbought peak or crest that we sell off through multiple support levels down to a prominent trough. And it looks like that prominent trough is probably actually on the 31st as well, because we continue declining on the 31st through multiple support levels. And then that low correlator here, the defeat card, is cross-reading congruency with the 1 year. So my sense is that what it's telling us is that we go lower into November. Overall, November... And see, there's that devil card too. Overall, November is looking pretty mixed. And I may have been off. It looks like I may have left out like a lowest low. There might be a pretty significant drop here on the cusp of November, December. When I did this reading, it was so long ago that I've learned so much since doing it. It's crazy. All right, so that's the sneak preview card there. Like I said, a lower price level in November, and that's SPCE for October. My friends, make sure to follow the rule of karma. The universe is counting on you. The channel is counting on you. Your own karma is counting on you. You follow the rule of karma here under resources, where we ask that everybody profiting from this information takes 5% of those profits and donates them forward to one of these charities, effectively transmuting competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. And then 5% of the profits back to the channel, helping to support the channel, and say thank you for the hard work that we do. I work harder than anybody I know. We'll put it that way. That leaves you with 90% of the money. Make sure to spend that money out of love or reinvest. As long as you follow those rules, the universe is going to send it back to you tenfold through this channel, my friends. Stay tuned if you got the paid version. Blessings to all my angel investors out there.